For our other 6:30 game, we got Washington State, who's 3-3, traveling on the road to number 18 Virginia, who's 5-1. Virginia favored by 17.5 points on the CW. Zevi Ackhouse was going 73 of 106, thrown for 758 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Kirby Voorhees had 48 carries for 244 yards and a touchdown, and Tony Freeman had 30 catches for 302 yards and a touchdown. Chandler Morris got 130 of 186, thrown for 1,428 yards, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions so far. Jamari Taylor's had 91 carries for 465 yards and 8 touchdowns. And Terrell Harris had 26 catches for 384 yards and 3 touchdowns. These two teams have never played, by the way. Washington State is coming off a heartbreaker against Ole Miss, a game that I think Washington State played admirably well in. Again, they only lost by 3 points to an Ole Miss squad that has playoff ambitions, an Ole Miss squad that is currently undefeated and tied amongst the top of the SEC between them and A&M and Alabama. So again, that was a strong showing by the Cougars, but the Virginia Cavaliers have a pretty strong path, in all honesty, to go 11-1. There are only a couple spots. Again, there's going to be 3 weeks in November that is going to be very interesting for the Virginia Cavaliers that are likely going to determine their playoff fate. They have a road trip to Cal to start out in November. They get Wake at home and then a road trip to Duke. Obviously, the road trip to Duke is by far the most difficult game on that schedule, especially if Duke's able to pull it off against Georgia Tech this weekend. So again, that's the game I'd be circling if I'm a Cavaliers fan. But again, trip to Cal and Wake at home, if you're saying that's your hardest games, some of your hardest games left on your schedule, that's a win of a schedule if you're Virginia. Again, path to 11-1 in a pretty secure playoff spot is pretty possible for the Cavaliers. Obviously, the loss to NC State isn't aging admirably well, and that could end up hurting them, especially if NC State ends up not being a bowl team. That could really hurt them. But it was a road loss, so that makes it at least a little bit better for the Cavaliers. The Florida State win isn't aging as well as you would have liked it to if you're the Cavaliers, but they have a win over Louisville. Hopefully that one ages a little bit better. They have a chance to get a win over Duke coming up here, and Wake, which should be solid wins for them on that schedule. Again, I think the Cavaliers are a team that might end up making a college football playoff push. I say might because that Duke game has the possibility of being a trap game and possibility of the Blue Devils winning that. But I think if I had to pick right now, I think the Cavs are a team that's destined to be a college football playoff squad. They remind me a lot of SMU last year. I think the head coach of Virginia should be getting a lot more hype for Coach of the Year than he is right now. Obviously, Cignetti's done a phenomenal job at Indiana, but I think he won it last year. I really like a team that is a surprise college football playoff team, that coach to get it, and Virginia fits that mold. I think the Cavs head coach deserves a lot of credit for what he's done this year with this squad, especially getting in a transfer quarterback like Chandler Morris that has run this offense so effectively. I like the Cavs to win this one. I think Washington State is a little bit of a letdown game after their admirable performance against Ole Miss. I like the Cavs to win. I like them to cover that 17.5 point spread.